Toolbox, right? So you need to know your machine's IP, because what Docker Toolbox does is like to bypass some of the requirements.
Sorry, I've got to run.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. So what you have to do is do Docker, Docker dash, sorry, type in Docker dash machine.
So you copy paste the so that how it works now.
And space IP.
Just it takes time.
So now just copy that copy that, and just save it somewhere. Like just open up like a notepad or something else.
Yeah. Let me see the mounts.
You can just type notepad here. Yeah.
Still don't really know what that means.
I think you just need to do Control C inside there. Yeah. Sometimes it's like weird copying between these. Yeah. Even though it's like just do Control C. There we go, yeah. And now run that previous command again. Oh, sorry, to run that previous command, you might need to just kill the previous. Sorry, because right now you've kind of stopped running it. So what you need to do, sorry, can I just show you something?
It's coming straight late.
Yeah, so what we just need to do here is, we just want to list the running ones. Because it's going to give you a problem if you try to run it again. You just want to do
latest date.
You just want to stop the previous one from running. There's actually a better way of going about this, but it's kind of quick for now. And then you just want to run it again. So now you want to, it's going to give you a URL again, copy that, and then everything between those brackets, just replace it with your Docker machine IP. Okay, sound good?
So maybe that's the sample one they are saying, state 127.
Sorry?
Maybe this is the sample one, 127 dot whatever. That's why it's not saying.
Yeah, it's like it's also like that works better if you're running on your own. Sorry, if you're running like an actual Docker setup, then you can just use localhost. But since since Docker Toolbox runs inside a VM, you need to know that VM's IP. So just here, sorry,
yeah,
you just need to.
I'm going to get this guy.
Yeah. All right, nice. How's it going for you?
Good, everything went well.
All right, awesome.
Everything went well. Actually, there was a presentation a few years ago. They have like a presentation every year in Los Angeles, and they just did a talk on Docker for data science.
Oh wow, interesting.
So you're all put on the USB for it if you want.
Sorry?
I'll download on the USB if you want.
Oh sure, yeah.
Sure.
If you could also maybe, if there's a link to it, maybe put it in the meetup group. And
Sure, okay,
yeah,
sure.
so then everybody
Sure,
can
okay, sure, okay, sure.
Yeah, because then everybody
Great.
can take a look. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was pretty good, yeah, it was a good presentation.
Thank you.
She's from Toronto, that's great, you did a great job. It's hard, but
I think the main part is I need to figure out this connection issue because I feel like that kind of slowed things down.
libraries are horrible.
Yeah.
People, and then the NLTK, the Natural Language Toolkit, I think it's huge, it's like
Jupyter Stack Tensorflow and then underscore light. Because I just, the version I copied onto there. Okay. Docker machines. Oh, wait. Okay, do you have that tar file? Just do, so it goes to school by Docker. Yeah. Okay, you got it in there. So just do ls, type in ls in here. Okay, so you've got it there. So now you want to do Docker space load space dash I. Say dash I, minus I, and space, the name of that file. So that's gonna load. So that's gonna load it up, and then you can run this underscore light command again, and it should work for you. Oh, since you're running Docker Toolbox, before you run that other command, you want to run that Docker machine, Docker-machine IP. You can find it if you go here.
Yeah, I ran it beforehand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just maybe save that somewhere, like Notepad or something like that, and because you'll need that afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was able to run this Docker around with the light file, but I don't understand the amounts. Like
Yeah.
Here you said not like I don't don't know what directory is this one.
Oh, you don't need to, you need to change this. That's in, so this there, so what this part is doing, you don't need to change anything, but here it's saying, use the current directory. So it's gonna /mount, so you wanna make sure that you're inside that, this kind of repository, right?
Yes, so I'm already in here.
Yes, okay, that's good.
Like,
Yeah, okay, yeah, and you see
So,
everything,
so
yeah.
I'm under the
Yeah,
school
so
of
if you go back
Docker.
to,
I'm under the school of Docker
Yeah.
here.
okay,
But I
So-
just don't understand that directory. I could, what should I put here?
that directory doesn't, sorry, oh, this there, just keep it the same as the original.
Oh,
So
keep the
you
same.
don't, yeah, so that,
But
because,
who's using that?
so that's inside the actual container. The people, majority of the container was set up by like somebody that works at Jupyter. Sorry, some who develops Jupyter, I think the actual companies did call it something else. But, they, inside of the container, there's like already like a folder for like their user. But like we just use that one because it's a hassle. It's a bit of a hassle to change that name. So like you don't want to. So this home Jovian work, it's not
It's
actually.
like someone else working folder.
Yes, but it's not on your machine. It's
Okay.
inside the container. So like everything after this path, it's inside your actual, so it's not on like your Mac, but
Mhm.
it's inside the container. So the container has its own file setup,
Okay,
and that's kind of that folder. So that's like the default folder they just set up for that.
okay. But I thought you mentioned, because you want a persistent folder to be inside the Docker
Yes,
container.
yes.
So where do I set it up?
Yeah, so your persistent folder will be, if you go back to your file kind of
Yeah.
finder, this folder, that will be your persistent folder. So anything you put inside of there, you can see inside your Docker container,
Okay.
and any changes you make to any file inside of there
Mhm.
will stay even after you close even after you stop even after you stop the container.
But I don't need to set up that in this command, right?
No, you can literally
It's
just
a
copy this command completely, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so when I was given this one, I loaded into the browser. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. Which
So
part
just
I
copy,
should-
yeah, so copy that into your browser,
Yeah.
and then just replace it with, so just do Control C from there, or is that the copy command on that, or is it Command C?
And
Oh yeah, just copy, sorry, you just need to highlight that part, that I think you don't have selected right now. Just, highlight. Yeah, it's tough without a mouse.
Control C.
Yeah, I think that should
Yeah.
copy. Just open the main one, Control V. And replace that whole piece with localhost. So keep the 88, but everything in the brackets, so that, and yeah, keep going until you hit the other bracket. Yeah, and replace that with localhost. Localhost is one, yeah.
That'll be.
Yeah, that should take you there.
Okay, good.
Perfect, yeah.
Got it.
So now you've got you've got the
Yes.
examples in here. So whatever's inside the examples, that's the ones you can actually run.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
everything inside work, you'll
Mhm.
have persisting. So for example, if you try to just create a new like notebook here, for example, Python 3. Now if you go back to your go back to this folder, mount.
So I haven't saved it. So if I
Yeah.
kind of save.
Yeah. Or actually, hold on. I feel like
You have to type something?
yeah. Hold on. I think can I see the command you ran before? Because it should show up the untitled notebook. Just open up your
Yeah.
terminal.
I think I didn't change that one. I still like
Hold on, let me
use,
see.
use this one, so,
Yeah.
which is a problem, right?
Yeah, so you might wanna stop this container,
Okay.
cause right now it doesn't know what to mount,
To.
what to kind of, mount to, yeah.
Okay.
So just Control C and it should stop it from running. Okay, there you go. So now the only thing is to run that command again, you might need to stop the previous container. So you can just run, just close these pages for now. So go here.
How do I
So do
stop
Docker container. Sorry, it's Docker container ls. So what that command does is it lists all your running containers. Oh, okay, I already stopped it on that. Okay, that's good then. So you can just run that command again. So go back to the
just
Git. Yeah, so go to this Git. Go to Git.
so
This.
just put this one.
Yeah, and just
okay.
so copy this entire command. So you can select it here and just do add_light at the end. I think that'd be your fastest way just to copy this from the browser.
Oh, I see. I'm not really good with my
It's fine.
Mac key.
No worries.
So we need to remember this every time, right? It was someone.
This command?
else. Yeah, this command, right, basically.
Yeah, I think there's a way you can set something up to, well, there's a couple of things. There's this thing called Docker Compose. It's kind of like you can add this file, and I can send out a link, and actually I can set it up in the repository after too, which basically tells it how to set up, it's kind of like putting all these like extra options just inside a file, and so then all you have to do is Docker run, and it'll use all those options already for you. So you
Okay.
wouldn't have to like remember all those pieces every time. You could just do Docker run. So now I'll copy that, just go to localhost, and it should do it for you.
There's also a packager. Packager is a super task manager for Docker.
Oh.
Actually, you can run the tasks in there, and actually,
Oh.
so say if you have a file folder, you want people to drop files in, you can actually monitor that folder and actually run all the Docker execution steps
Oh, that's fair.
as it goes along. It's like a assembly line.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Could you link that in our meetup group too? I think it'd be.
It's in
really
this whole here.
Oh, it's all here. Okay,
Put it on your
on
machine,
Yeah.
and it's the YouTube link, actual file you can just look up on YouTube.
Perfect.
It's got the name, and it also has the repository, a copy repository.
Awesome.
too.
Thank you.
You would take copy too. It's really good. It's a good. It's Pi Data from Toronto. Way from Toronto down to Los Angeles. They do a big thing every year. And they have like the talks. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes through and talks about Docker. She works for an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
And how their company uses Docker.
Sorry, I'm just copying. I'm just
Okay.
copying the.
So it's a lot smaller.
Yeah. I'll change the name after.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, right?
And there's the Windows, the actual video.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's kind of my favorite, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll make sure to make use of this.
It's,
What does that mean?
Sorry, I just have to answer a question on here.
I'm guessing it's not Musashi.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. That's the-
I'll have to Google it.
Yeah.
Oh, you like Japanese stuff?
Well, all of it, but like Musashi is kind of like a crazy historical figure.
So let me show you this,
Okay.
So this one, like once everything's done, we can try out.
Yeah, so there's a
even
couple.
how it works when I came Python.
Yeah.
When I try to run something, how it will run. So second source, right?
Yeah, to the console, but you can also go into, for example, if you go into these examples, notebooks, and then, for example, TensorFlow. There's a folder in here, and it opens up, this is Jupyter Notebooks, right? And it's basically like, it's similar to like a Python file, but you can run things line by line. For
Yeah.
example, you can just like, I want to just run this import line, right? And so on.
Yeah, this way, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how you would like write your code and
Yeah, I'm trying to learn now. So where so you are saying that this will run one by one, is right?
yeah.
But
yeah.
what this one is doing, as of now, the one I showed
The
you.
Python one? Oh, okay, yeah. Your console?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I came here,
I think shift that.
uh,
Yeah, so yeah. So that's usually the when you want to run some like run a line, you just click shift enter. And same here as well. Here, for example, if I want to run this line, right, it's just shift and enter, and it'll run.
well,
each
it's the
line.
shortcut.
Yeah. For example,
Usually this one have the tool, but I think that's the notebook
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But generally, that's the shift enter.
yeah.
Okay.
Alright, and now you have like your environment set up, and you can kind of work inside of this environment,
Mhm.
and then, for example, you could either, say you wanted to do some of your own work, either your own work or like in private, you could like fork the repository, for example, and then have your own repo where you can work on. Or just to work straight in here. There's a couple of things already set up in this one for you, so like TensorFlow is already here with a bunch of other pieces, like SciPy and other things.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, sorry, I just gotta go.
So it's like a fortress.
Alright. I think I'm gonna have to reset it. That's
The
what
hierarchy
some
or
of the.
something.
To reset the, like the
Adopter.
installation, or? I see.
Well, there's some, oh, is it better for me to just delete the image and try to go where are we? This.
Sorry, so what were people suggesting? Can you show me the?
Can you use that to predict the next election?
So it's easier than when us to reset it.
Yeah.
But have you seen how the better scenes?
Try maybe just restarting Docker first. Just search up there's like a Docker restart or something for that.
Please, good. Settings.
Oh, right, yeah. So in here, so first try,
Yes.
oh yeah, try this, because this itself should be fine, I think, well, because we ran it on multiple other people's machines. Yeah, and then try going through that stuff. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. But image should be fine.
Yeah, because I mean we've ran it on multiple other machines, including my social data, so should be fine. If this because we're actually going to be running out of time soon, but if this persists, you can contact me on LinkedIn afterwards, and we can keep talking, like, because I want to make sure everybody has it working. So.
You can continue with this next.
Yeah, so we might be using this, or like yeah, I think we can continue this for next session. We'll probably be using this in order to develop, but now we'll actually be like building a model or something else. We're still I'm still planning the events kind of like the next one will be in the new year most likely because holidays and stuff coming up, right? So around that is we need to get to a point where we have everybody kind of something that makes sense to most people and everybody's on the same page, because like we have some people at various kind of stages of their understanding and development, right? So I wanted to try and come up with something that's kind of interesting for everybody, right? So that's a bit of a challenge, but that's something we're working on. We're also thinking of potentially bringing in like guest kind of like speakers and stuff like that, people who are like experts in specific fields, so that they can give a presentation. So that might not follow our like usual flow, but like it'll be like more of a concentrated on a specific topic kind of talk.
And Kira, you could add some maybe information on that page about the Docker itself, because maybe somebody would want to try the different setups, right? For example, because I tried that one, which is not native for Windows.
Docker Toolbox?
Yes, the Toolbox, right? It worked for me.
Toolbox.
Another one should be better, right?
Docker for Windows should be better. Yes. So that's why I'm kind of I'm working on this to show different setups. So like on expanding this this kind of documentation here.
Okay.
Basically, most of these steps are the same. The only one you don't need to do is if you're running Docker for Windows, you don't need to do the Docker machine IP step, because you can just go straight to localhost because it just runs on your.
I see.
But otherwise, all of these steps should be the same. Yeah.
The problem with Docker for Windows is you have to run Hyper-V. So when you're running Hyper-V on your Windows, it cuts out your memory because you have to run the memory to run Hyper-V, right, instance on the machine. So basically, when you're finished, we only got like 4 gigabytes of memory of 3 gigabytes. So I also found that Docker for Windows was very, very slow. When I was running TensorFlow, I found that it was much faster running on Linux natively.
Okay, so maybe we could set up, for example, it's very simple to set up Ubuntu, right, for Windows. So you mean
the best thing is already, which Keita said, is to go and use Collaboratory. Collab. And you can also get a TPU for free or a GPU. Because when you start getting into intensive machine learning, see if somebody runs within a GPU, it'll run it'll take 5 days to run. If you use a GPU, it only takes 1 day to run.
Oh, and I will run into such problems. I will think about it because
I'd be surprised.
I'm now on the first steps of all those.
So it takes a long time. It's very frustrating. But if you use Collaboratory, it's got the same kind of notebook setup. They recommend, and that would be your better. You can also get a free TPU. Use that. It's much faster.
Because this is Collaboratory is definitely something that is like very fast to use. But just the reason I also want to give some explanation of how to use Docker and these other pieces is that once people want to say deploy this, and if they want to deploy it, say on AWS or something, for example, like having a knowledge of Docker is something that's useful for people to later containerize their applications and so on, right?
And it's using virtual environments of a machine, and they'd always, after a while, they get corrupted, or if you're doing something and someone else is doing something, they're different because you might have a different version of pandas, so the result is actually different, right? So, but if you run in a Docker container, you can run the whole thing and then just give them the link, just put on Docker Hub or give them the Docker Compose file, and they can run the whole thing themselves, and it'll exactly the same results.
Exactly.
So when I ran the Python notebook, why it's running like installing like SQL and users, my name, somewhere it's putting there instead of the normal, like when you install usually like you go to the programs folder.
Sorry, so we're in where?
Generally, like when you install something, the sample program, usually it will go SQL and program folders instead. But this one, like previously I installed the Python and the NumPy, Anaconda. It's going into SQL and user, my name, Doug or whatever, the path.
So it's so Docker places it inside So there's a couple of things. Like there's some config stuff going on inside here. For example, you have this machine set up because you're using Docker Toolbox, so it has like a VM basically sort of running. So this is some of the config for it. I'll have to find where the actual like the main files are. But basically, because all of it's installing isn't actually like on your machine itself. Like it's not. Well, okay, it is on your machine, but it's putting it inside the container. So it's like a different path. So like your machine, like you wouldn't be able to say like you create a container with TensorFlow, but you didn't have TensorFlow on your machine. Like you wouldn't be able to just run TensorFlow like natively, right? You'd have to run it through the container. But that's in a way better because it's in like an environment that like it's guaranteed to be TensorFlow and these other things set up, and it like if you say have something that's messed up on your computer, it won't really affect it. Like it won't really affect it as much.
That's why I'm worried. Like it's putting under user or whatever. They will clean up the configuration data issue. Then sometimes they will delete the properties from the user directories, right?
It should be fine. I don't think it should get deleted. It should be fine. I mean, for as long as I've been using it, which is a while now, things like that happen. I haven't really heard of it.
No, sometimes you know the state, sometimes the memory issue or whatever. Usually the network administrator goes to the SQL and users directory, you know, delete the user profile. So
oh, I see. Okay, well, on another setup, you'd have to have like decide. For example, you have like if you're running it, say on like some server or something, you would have to make sure that the user is like protected or something, right? That you're not specifically deleting that stuff, and like you have to make sure that the server administrator knows what they're doing as well. So yeah, it's definitely in a location like that's it's different from what like where usually you install programs. So you just need to make sure whoever's managing that is like aware of that setup.
No, I just thought of why some of the things are installing like under SQL and users instead of our regular, you know, installation, because this like the network administrator usually, you know.
Yeah, the thing is, okay, yeah. For if you're using regular, like say Vaughan for Windows, I think you can put it anywhere. So you could put it in say like program or like just in like some C drive. The thing is though, Docker Toolbox, it runs a VM that by default only has access to your users folder. So if you tried putting it somewhere else, the mounting part wouldn't work. So you wouldn't be able to create persistent files. So if you tried to save, say something, say you did some work and inside that like work folder, and you tried to save it for later, it would disappear once you delete the Docker container. Once you stop running the container, because the container doesn't like remember things between instances, like between running instances of itself. Between running instances of containers. Because it would just lack the permission. Actually, I don't think it'll even let you create the file because it lacks right. So it's not that it'll disappear; it just won't let you make a file inside that work folder because it's not going to have permissions to do that. There are ways. I just set it up like this, so everybody doesn't have to go like change all their permissions and stuff like that. But yes, but if you wanted to, you could give that VM permissions to access other parts of your system, and then you could place it somewhere else if you wanted to. Yes. I just didn't want to overcomplicate things for people.
No, even when I started installing the Python, you know, whatever, it went to the SQL and users. You know, that's where even when I changed the environment variable, you know, path setup. So I had to go SQL and users, Muruk, you know, then you know Jupyter, whatever is right.
Yeah.
Then I was surprised, like you know, why suddenly like it's going to go there, you know, if somebody actually got deleted.
Yeah. You'd have to talk to the devs of those libraries, right? Because that's how they set up. I'm guessing partially it might be so like your user is in a way sort of its own little environment. So like if you have multiple users on the same system, they have different maybe setups, right? There's one way to go further is like with using like Anaconda, right? To have like those virtual environments, but those can also get really messy pretty fast too. So like, I think the easiest setup to use is either like in that case, like we're saying, either Docker or like one of those online solutions like Collab.
So this Docker, what does for me?
So
usually I go Python notebook, right?
Yeah.
From the command prompt.
Yeah.
Instead of going the command prompt, I am going here. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So you can create like files in here. You can like run your notebooks and stuff like that, and you can just run them straight from here. And but that's just regular Jupyter notebooks. You can just have it set up locally too. But what Docker is doing is making sure that you always have that same environment, right? So you can then add on pieces to that environment if you wanted to by changing the Docker file, and I'll send links afterwards on how to do that. But basically you can make sure that you have always a certain very specific libraries installed, and you can always guarantee that. And then somebody else, say like you're working with like a coworker or something, and they need to run that same code and make also changes to it. They can pull the image and make sure, as long as they have Docker installed, they'll already have them. As long as they pull that image, they'll have all of the environment set up for them.
Same as like what I have,
they will have, yes. So they don't have to install any like libraries and do all this other stuff. All they have to do is make sure they have Docker, and then they just pull the image and they'll have everything set up and working.
Whatever your environment.
Yes, the environment. Yeah. So that's the like kind of the main goal of Docker. So make sure that everybody shares the same environment. Yeah.
Oh, that's why so it's like you build the say Python application.
Yeah.
You deploy to the user, so who is getting it, everyone will have the same.
Yeah.
Same environment.
Yeah.
So it guarantees it.
Almost like straight up.
Basically, yeah.
The Docker's
There might
really nice,
be,
I would-
almost in all
something
cases.
called
There's later on, there's,
environment.
if you want to use it with a GPU, it gets a little bit more complicated, but there's ways to get that set up.
Well, I'm just trouble
And yeah,
learning like
so
you are.
it basically guarantees it.
So as I started off doing machine learning.
Operating system.
Yeah, because like you could be running it on Windows, another guy could be
Just
running it
virtual
on Mac,
environment using
and
Python.
it'll work on both
I'm not a
machines
big
if you have
Python
Docker
fan,
set up.
but now I'm starting to
Yeah.
be more of a Python fan, so it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I do.
So what you do is you have Docker, and you have your something called Flask in Python, and you have apps running in the background, and top, like 4 or 5 web servers running there, and it's pretty neat. Pretty neat stuff. I tell you, it's too much. I'm too old.
No, I also want to learn so that I can teach my son.
That worked.
My son's been teaching you.
It worked. Awesome. So now it's time for you. Yeah. So obviously you need to head out, but you can afterwards.
I'm doing turn off the system.
Well, we saw
Yeah. So after you just go inside the examples folder, and for example,
YouTube videos, right?
I don't think game might not work for you right now because you'll probably have to download. Yes, because I just. Actually, no, you download the full one, so it'll work. I don't think it should work for you too. But you can for sure go inside the TensorFlow folder, and all the examples. There's a bunch of examples on there.
It's very technical.
Yeah, they're individual notebooks. So you can take all
Yeah, for me it's hard
Thanks for
sometimes.
me. It's good.
No, initially I started learning Airflow first.
Is it you're
Then I started learning.
Yeah, I'm actually, so
I'm going
I'm
with
also kind of.
So you mastered Python? You mastered Python?
I was beginning looking for my coding and lyrics. So, but now Python is kind of, I see how it is. So it's finished, but we don't have this kind of things. I used to do a lot of script making manually.
Yeah, so I might be able to
Go
do
and
it
I used to,
now.
even easily I was not but my what is it? For all this, the government,
That's
how to write.
Oh, yeah.
But no, they write the same thing.
That's really great.
And then for,
Yeah, so
Maybe you can
they're
tell us
the same.
about that sometime.
so now I feel like, okay, now only like,
I want to start something more like,
years back.
if anybody from like our kind of community works on like a cool project or something, have like a little feature, say at the end of the meetup or something, we'll be like, here's some cool
Well,
stuff.
actually, this is
like
pretty
our-
advanced,
what
but
we're doing.
I'd stick with Python
So like if you
and
have some
JavaScript.
more kind of cool project or like anybody else
If you're
who
sticking with
wants
one,
to do it,
I'd probably stick with Python.
Okay, great.
There's something called TensorFlow JS,
That's funny.
and TensorFlow and
Have a good
JavaScript.
holidays.
So you write JavaScript, TensorFlow on your web pages.
maybe later, but I was doing all the and a lot of database.
Yeah, me too. I did Perl. I used to do Perl for machines, talking machines.
I got different networks, so.
Oh, okay,
Pretty
awesome.
good
Awesome.
network,
So
all the database software.
Like I explained a bit.
Oh, you're using ours.
So when I took my Perl box, I gave the library.
Nowadays, but like it's
So you do full time or
Nice,
contract?
nice.
Full time, almost 45 years. You know what?
I use just contract also.
If you do a contract, it pays well.
I finished my contract last time.
So, have you
Yeah,
been
that's
to
the-
Japan?
Anyway, the Christmas time, nobody will be able to start the job, so I was
Wrapping up again.
waiting for
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
course.
Wait, so you've been to
Yeah, it's great. Like,
Korea? No?
you just do whatever you want.
Have you been to any?
Okay, so.
Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up here and ending this stream. If anybody has any additional questions, you can ask online afterwards.
I'll copy over?
Oh yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes. Sorry about
perfect,
that.
thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah, I would take a look at that. She did a great job,
Mhm.
and she will include that as part of your presentation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So then better that you get the link with me.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Ken Nichols.
Ken Nichols.
Sure, I'll send it. Oh, it's great. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So I'll send you a link by my Facebook. We have my Facebook, right? So-
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so,
so
yes,
yeah.
yes. So you're in the group, right?
Yeah, so we'll dialogue and we'll talk and see how you're doing.
It was
Yeah.
amazing meeting you.
Oh, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Very nice meeting
When's
you.
the plan?
Learned a lot. You did a good job. It's very hard with so many people.
Andrew, Nikita's father.
Oh, your father was very good. Yeah.
How did
Yeah,
you
I'm
find it?
very proud.
Oh, he's a good guy. Yeah.
He's Anton, his
Wow.
younger person.
It's a lot of effort to take over something like we took over. It's a lot of work.
I may start some free training to this group, but I need to know how to start this kind of